Hello, hello. Jessica, you are here. Welcome. Johnny, welcome. All right, let's see. It is Friday, July 24th, 2026. This is Yoddah Live, and hopefully moving forward on Fridays, it's going to be music appreciation. I'm going to be recording an episode of Old Guy, New Rock. And tonight is, I think, going to be interesting. Um, as always, this is Yoddah Live. I am Yoddah, spelled Yoddah, because film studios are litigious. And I ain't got no money. So, probably going to be a small crowd because it's Friday night in the summer in the middle of July, or the end of July. And I'm sure, people are out, getting their groove on for the most part. Family time, sexy time, whatever. But whoever shows up, hopefully they'll enjoy it. I'm going to be listening to a band tonight that I have never heard before. That's the whole thing. In fact, the song I'm listening to, I'm only going to do one song of theirs. But the song I'm listening to was just released 3 days ago. The album that this song is in has not even been released yet. So when we talk about new rock, this is new fucking rock. All right. So I'll wait a few minutes to see if a couple of people come in. I didn't queue up any other songs. I wonder if you know what? I'm gonna queue up a Van Halen song. Why not? I feel like a little Van Halen. I think this is from their 1984 album. It's the last album that David Lee Roth was on before we moved on to the Sammy Hagar era. But let's see. I wonder if I listened to this before live. I don't remember. I might have, because it is one of my favorite. Do I want the remastered? No, I don't want to remaster. Here we go. There we go. All right, here we go. This is from Van Halen. Oops. And it is called Drop Dead Legs. If you're listening to this on headphones, you can hear the separation of the guitars. Now there's three guitars, left, right, and middle. That was Drop Dead Legs by Van Halen. You know, I got to tell you, again, this is coming from the perspective of someone who's a junior audio engineer. Doing my best. Whoops. I don't know why another song came on. Anyway, so the Van Halen is like this amazing mix of different components. You've got arguably one of the greatest rock guitarists in music history, and Eddie Van Halen. But that's not enough just to have a great guitarist, because there's a lot of bands with great guitarists, but that's not enough to make a legendary band. You had the oversized personality of David Lee Roth, very limited range in his vocal ability, but he was a consummate entertainer, and that helped. He was also the one that wrote all of the lyrics to the songs, right? Then you have the luckiest bassist in the world, Michael Anthony. Good, solid bassist, but not phenomenal, I don't think, by any measure. But the real important thing about Michael Anthony is his backing vocals. Like that Van Halen sound that you hear in the chorus, that's 90% Michael Anthony and 10% Eddie Van Halen. Eddie had a very mid-range voice. You know, he sang on key, but his voice was not amazing. That's why they let him sing once and it was a disaster. But, Michael had that amazing, high, powerful voice for the backing vocals. And then possibly one of the most underrated drummers out there, in my opinion, which is Alex Van Halen. And if you don't believe me, listen to the intro for Hot for Teacher. That intro alone launched the career of dozens of drummers because nobody understood how the fuck he did that. It's an amazing, amazing intro. Anyway, moving on to tonight. We're going to be listening to one song from the band Imminence. And Imminence is described as a Swedish metalcore band. Okay? Now, I have heard other Swedish metal, and I've enjoyed it. I picked these people kind of at random. I have a place that I go to catch up with new rock. And like I said earlier, this is so new that the album for this song hasn't even been released yet. But the album, which is coming out October 2nd, 2026, is called Axis Mundi. And let's see, what else did I want to say about that? Oh yeah, and they'll be also in New York City at the Palladium in Times Square on November 14th. That's exciting stuff. So, all right, let me get into old guy new rock mode, and let's listen to False Light from the band Imminence.
I need to cut you out before you turn. I need to cut you out. False light.
Oh, there we go.
False light.
you have it. False Light by Eminence. Damn, that was powerful. I love it. Sounded like drop D tuning in up front. That's where we got that deep bass sound from. I love the drums on this. I love the vocals on this. I definitely liked the orchestral vibe that they gave part of the song using synths. That's for if I want to work out or go rob a grocery store, this is absolutely perfect. So I'm giving that a thumbs up. I enjoyed that very, very much. And I get that this is not everybody's cup of tea, but the thing is that art is subjective. So everybody's going to have different opinions, and I don't care about anybody else's opinion. I just care what I think about it. Anyway, we've got some folks here. Let's bring them up and start the party. Traffic, Jessica, Danny, if you feel like coming up, of course. Come on up. Traffic, I sent you an invitation if you feel like coming up, of course. Danny, how you doing?
All right, how you doing?
I'm good. Alive another day. Decided
That's
that
it.
Fridays are going to be Music Appreciation Day, where I do, the whole old guy new rock thing. But instead of listening to a whole album, I'm just going to listen to one song from a band. Because that whole album thing, the finished video was just slightly over an hour, and that's a pain in the ass.
Oh,
So, anyway, Jessica, how are you?
I'm well. How are you? Also, sorry if my kettle is making for some loud background noise.
Oh, no
Getting
worries.
ready to make a cup of tea, and my kettle's loud.
That's quite all right. We can handle that. Traffic man, how you doing?
uh, Not too bad tonight.
All right, coming in very mellow this evening. That's nice.
Hmm.
yeah, he's not in his Malacca mode yet, but he'll get there.
Oh,
So how's your what is the reason for your mellow mood?
just trying to relax, trying
Okay,
to, you know, be easy.
all right. So is that because you feel stress around you, or there's chaos around you, or is it just you just feel like being relaxed?
Um, well, because it's music appreciation night, I'm going to try to refrain from mentioning a bunch of stuff. But there was
Well,
a
you
certain,
you don't have to.
yeah,
I asked you because I want to know the reason. So feel free to say
um,
what you need to say.
there was a certain press conference this evening, the type of like correspondence dinner redo,
Mm-hmm.
and I unfortunately decided to watch that, and I think it's best for my health that I just kind of take it easy.
Okay. So I never watch his speeches live, because he's such an outrageous douchebag that I know he's going to say something ridiculous that I don't want to hear, and you know it helps preserve me because now the only time I hear his voice is on clips on podcasts, and it's usually 30 seconds to a minute, and that works for me. I
Sure.
don't need to know anymore. I don't need more convincing about what a piece of garbage he is. But anyway, let's welcome back Alpha Girl. How you doing? You have to unmute yourself, by the way. Alpha Girl, are you there? Did you mean to come up? Oh,
Yes,
there you are.
sir. Hi.
Ah, hi, hi.
Hi. I've been gone for about 3 weeks. Went to Puerto Rico for 3 weeks.
How'd you like
Kind
it?
of, I'm sorry?
How'd you like it?
I loved it. I was born and raised there.
Okay. I was
And
I was born in the island next to that, in the Dominican Republic.
yeah, you know what? I went to college there for my undergraduate. And the best spring break I ever had was in Santo Domingo.
The capital city. Yeah, that's
I'm
actually where I was
telling you,
born.
man. It was, I went to college back in the 80s, early 80s, and by that time all of that area was not in Santo Domingo, was not the way it is today, which is very commercialized and, just totally changed. But we would go out partying, and then we would come over to the Malecon. It's like right up, on the coast, and just sit there until the next morning, just talking and laughing and all of that. So,
Nice.
yes, sir.
Nice. Now, I think you just joined us. Did you catch the song that I played?
I just joined. No, I didn't.
Okay, so
I
you
didn't
didn't.
catch
So
that.
let me go to Jessica. Jessica,
Okay.
what were your thoughts on this imminence? Which I love the title because it can be interpreted a couple of different ways. It could be the state of something about to happen, or the state of something evil about to happen. So I think that's
Right.
interesting. But were you
That
familiar with this band?
No, that was the first time I'd heard anything from them.
Yeah.
They really remind me of Bring Me the Horizon, um,
Mm,
especially whenever he switches into clean vocals.
mm,
It sounds a lot like Ollie Sykes from Bring Me the Horizon. Of course, I thoroughly enjoy heavier music. But I really, really like when a band can play heavier music and then still have a very nice switch between harsh vocals and clean vocals. I think that his clean vocals were beautiful. I also really enjoyed that that nice little orchestra vibe that he brought in towards the second part of that,
mm,
or towards the second half of that song.
yeah.
I thought that it blended very well. And I don't know if you've listened to a lot of Bring Me the Horizon, but if you liked them, you may really like Bring Me the Horizon.
Well, the only song I ever heard of theirs was the one that Mafra covered,
Ah,
right? And so I went back and listened to the original, and I liked it a lot.
yeah, I would recommend Bring Me the Horizon for you if you liked them. Um, Very, very similar vibe, especially with that really nice blending of harsh and clean vocals. But yeah, it was nice. I dug it.
Cool, cool. And Traffic Man, you said that the music sounded intense. Did you enjoy it, or was it too much for you?
Oh no, I absolutely enjoyed it. As you said, like that's like perfect workout music.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
I like hard driving music for my workouts. Even though I barely work out anymore, but I actually got an instrumental version of 50 Cent's song In the Club, and I looped it for 30 minutes. And I was very
Nice.
proud of myself. This was one of my early engineering endeavors, and I made it seamless. You couldn't hear the edits at all, and it just went, but I took a song that was like 3 minutes and change and made it 30 minutes, and it's perfect for a workout. So I like intense stuff to work out to,
Hmm.
or to rob liquor stores too.
Well, you know, or don't forget flipping tables. You know.
Flipping tables.
I'll drive the getaway car.
Ah, excellent.
Gotta be
So
versatile.
so Danny, I'm guessing that sounded like a lot of noise to you.
That's pretty much my thought. Yeah, that just yeah.
There you go. Yeah. See, that's why I think my channel has a chance. And actually, the first comment, because I posted the edited version of this will be posted in probably a day or two, and I already posted the first one, and the first comment was from a fan of Sleep Token, and they were like, "Oh, welcome to the world of Sleep Token. I think you'll enjoy it." Da da da. And he said something like, Sleep Token fans will find you and blah, blah, blah. So that was a very positive response, because I think, like I said, I have not seen old guys reviewing new rock. I haven't, I've only seen younger guys doing that, or younger people are reviewing old rock from the 70s. So I hope that this is novel enough that it will catch people's attention. Who knows?
Well, it is novel enough for me, and I'm going to go research it
Cool.
because I am a classic rock girl. So, I have not gone beyond that. And so it's piquing my interest.
Yeah, I don't ever want to become one of these people that's like, oh, this shit today is garbage. I've never felt that
Right.
way. I've never accepted that perspective. I think there's lots of great music. Now, do I think the rock from the 70s is the best rock and it can be proven scientifically? Yes. But I still believe that there's a lot of great music out, and I think some of the best music never gets played on the radio. I think radio has an agenda, and it's they just want to sell advertising space, and they want to they want to make money for spinning records and stuff. But you know when I look for different music, I find some really good shit out there. So, I want to
Yeah.
expose myself to the music, and at the same time, maybe like this channel, I'm not putting all my chips in this channel. I'm actually going to be working to develop my coaching channel as the money maker, but I think it'll be fun to once a week review a new record or a new album from a band that's very different from the music that I grew up with.
Yeah. I just came across recently a live recording of Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald
Mm,
um, at a concert that I was in back in the 90s in LA. They actually recorded together What a Fools Believe.
hmm
And it was a whole different way that they made that arrangement. And I'll share the link with you guys. But it's a whole. I mean, and I just recently came across it, and I remember being at that concert,
mm.
just crying like a baby over that arrangement.
I
Um,
mean, I'm not a big fan of Kenny Loggins' music. I enjoy a couple of his songs, but I love Michael McDonald.
yeah,
And in the '80s, that dude was on every other album. Like
yeah,
it seemed like
yeah.
there was a law that you had to have Michael McDonald on
I
every
know,
other
right?
album.
Hmm.
The big Grammy-winning album from Christopher Cross, right? Sailing takes me away from where
Yep.
Michael McDonald was on that album. You know,
Right.
he was on so many people's albums back then, and rightfully so. He was on Steely Dan singing beautiful backup. On the song Peg,
He's got a
he does all the backup on the song
right.
Peg.
He's got a collaboration with Take Six
Oh,
also.
really?
Oh my
Interesting. Okay.
God, yes. It's just awesome. It's the kind of stuff that just kind of like,
Yeah,
I decompress to. So,
I got you. Yeah,
Well,
and if it wasn't Michael McDonald on the record, it had to be Phil Collins.
oh yeah. Yeah.
One of my favorite
Yeah.
songs is Howard Jones, No One Is to Blame. And Phil Collins, I think he produced it, but he also played drums and sang backup on that song.
Hmm. I remember that.
Love that
well,
I
song.
was ways back.
it's
Yeah.
kind of funny as somebody who was a child in the '80s. Like the only two Kenny Loggins songs to bring up Kenny Loggins, for instance, and this works for a lot of bands back then. Like for Kenny Loggins, all that I remember ever being played on the radio was Maverick Song and oh God, what's the other one?
I'm all right.
Yeah, yes. Well, yeah. I was gonna say Dirty Dancing
Oh,
was the other
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So
Bow,
like those
bow,
were the two Kenny
bow,
Loggins
bow,
songs,
bow.
right? And so like as an adult, I was like, well, let me see what else Kenny Loggins has and I was surprised that there's so much more of this beautiful library that Kenny Loggins has, and I was like, but it, that's the thing is the rest of his album didn't just. didn't make money, and I fell into the trap with Kiss. I fell into the trap with Aerosmith and Guns N' Roses. There's so many artists through the 70s and 80s that had like this extensive library of music,
Oh yeah,
and we only hear like 3 songs.
I know, right?
God,
The ones that make
I
money.
can't stand Guns N' Roses. Ugh.
Well,
Ugh.
I bring them up. I bring them up specifically because as a young white male growing up in Northeast Ohio,
You were desperate for representation.
yeah, right. No, no,
Okay.
no.
That went over my head, but I'll wait. I'll probably get to me at some point.
It's an inside joke. No,
Okay.
It's not
but
an
no,
inside joke. It's just the idea that white people are the dominant culture. They don't need representation.
Oh,
exactly.
got
No,
you.
that
Okay,
absolutely.
okay.
Yeah, no. But like, there was so much more to the Guns N' Roses library that exists that
The only song of theirs that I can tolerate is November Rain. I think that's partly because Shannon Hoon was singing background in that.
sure.
But you know, I don't know whether I would have enjoyed Guns N' Roses on my own. What ruined it for me was this evil woman that I dated forced me to listen to it
You
over
see,
and
that's
over again.
wrong.
And she had a poster of Axl on her ceiling over her bed. And frankly,
yeah,
and I don't care
I'll give you
if
that.
she was looking at Axl while she was banging me. I'd prefer that to looking at me while she was banging Axl. So I don't care. But just listening to his awful voice, sounding like Popeye. I just
my Michelle. Yeah.
oh God.
Well, and I think the disheartening thing is, now I'm in my 40s, and stuff like that, and like trying to seek out like modern Guns N' Roses. I think the last
God.
live tour.
Raise the bar.
Hold on. The last live tour that Axl Rose went on. It's like, okay, bro, just retire. It's enough.
Have you seen what he looks like now?
Well,
I mean, he looks like a fucking.
yes.
He looks like a character
Yes.
from Dark Crystal.
No, he absolutely does. No, you are correct. But like, even his voice is not there anymore.
Of course not. His voice was never there. He had a strong voice, but it was never pleasant.
No, but that was kind
of sounds like a cat drowning. It sounds like a cat caught in the under the hood of a Buick as the Buick was going into a lake.
But that was kind of like the whole fascination with his voice.
I'm not fascinated by bad voices. That's why I don't like Dylan. I don't like Neil Young. I didn't like Lou Rawls. I don't like bad singing.
Lady
Fair
Love.
Fair enough. But
and again, look, music is subjective, so of course I can never tell someone they're wrong for liking what they like. But I could never.
So could
never connect to Guns N' Roses.
So Yoddah, you must not like Bad Bunny.
No, because he mumbles through most of his songs.
Yeah, I know, right?
That bullshit that he did at the Super Bowl was awful to me.
Okay, my dude.
I mean, I like the symbolism of what he was doing. I understood the cultural significance of it, and good for him. I'm glad that it pissed off a lot of white people. All right. But I'm listening to this guy.
Yeah,
and I'm
he
like,
doesn't.
This is not singing.
I'm gonna tell you, he is my
why
compatriot.
I wish I knew Spanish to appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
You don't need to know Spanish to know bad singing.
Yeah,
true.
No,
but
look,
also,
Bad Bunny and I are from the same place, same town in Puerto Rico. He cannot sing. Okay. However, I'm giving him grace because of what he's done for the island.
Yeah, and
You know,
that's a wonderful thing.
but he's still
And he
gonna,
is an
he's,
entertainer, and that
yeah,
counts. Like
right,
Madonna's okay, but she doesn't have a great voice, but she's a great entertainer. Well, she was
right.
a great entertainer.
But he cannot
Same
sing.
with Janet Jackson. Janet
Mhm.
Jackson doesn't have an amazing voice.
Mm-mm.
She same. I feel that way about Beyonce. Beyonce has an incredibly powerful voice, but I don't like her voice.
I know.
I agree.
I hear you. I don't like her voice either.
Oh, come on,
Like
It's
I like
Where's the
naggy.
song?
To
Crazy in
me,
Love
it's kind of naggy.
because they played horns throughout most of the song to cover how shitty her voice sounded.
Right.
You.
But
And I like Halo, but I know that is auto-tuned within an inch of her life.
yeah, yeah. It's a
Halo's a
lot
beautiful
of,
song to me. I do love that song. And I love some of the lyrics of the songs that she sings, but I just wish somebody else was singing them.
Yeah.
So that's just me. Like, my ear is just very sensitive. The first album I ever bought on vinyl was the last album I ever bought on vinyl because I took it home and I played it and I hear the pops and the scratches. It was the soundtrack to Saturday Night Fever.
oh my
So
God, I
we're
still have that.
talking 77, right?
Yep.
And I love the music from that album, most of
Mm-hmm.
it. Not, there's a couple of clunkers on there, but for the most part, especially Yvonne Elliman, she was amazing. But Kool and the Gang, all of that, and of course the Bee Gees. But I mean, I love the album. But I got it home, I played it, I went right back to the mall. I think it was Sam Goody where I bought it, and I just said, "Can I exchange this for a cassette?" And I never bought another vinyl after that. And then when CDs came out, I stopped buying cassettes because I like pristine music. I like
Mm-hmm.
music where everything is tuned. The singers can sing, all of them. Anybody that's opening their mouth on a mic needs to be able to sing. If they can't, I don't. And even if they can sing, that doesn't guarantee that I'm going to like their voice. Like Pavarotti, I can't stand that motherfucker's voice. It's so screechy to me.
Really?
It's so screechy to me. I
Yes.
can't. I don't
Yeah.
like that. I don't like shrill voices. That's why I can only take like a
If you
couple of songs from
listen,
Patti LaBelle,
if you
right?
listen to Pavarotti and listen to, let's say, what's this guy's name from Italy? Guys, I'm getting old. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
Bocelli.
Bocelli, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You compare those two, Pavarotti goes down.
Yeah,
It's
Bocelli has a very soothing voice.
oh my
He did
God.
that
I'll give you
duet
that.
with Celine Dion, "The Prayer." It was beautiful.
Yes. Have you heard his son sing?
No.
Oh my God. Yes.
Bocelli's son sings, huh?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's
Nice.
got a couple of concerts
Good for
with
him.
by himself and with his dad. They're out there on YouTube.
It's so
Oh
rare
my.
that the sons can sing as well as the fathers.
Oh, he is a crisp. I mean, the dad overtakes him, but he in his own on his own is an awesome singer.
Yeah,
Who's
I would say that.
Go ahead.
I would say that Andre, his father, has a richer tone,
Yes.
but he still has that velvety, smooth, very, very soothing voice. It's just not quite as rich as his father's.
Yeah. It's just a different style, I would say. Would you agree, Jessica?
To an extent, yeah. I mean, you can tell that he took after his father a lot in how he sings as well, including like his style, the little things that he does, the way that he will hold on to and then onto notes. He took a lot from his father, but I wouldn't say he's imitating him, but you can definitely tell that was his main influence and during
Right.
his his learning, I guess you would say, or his tutorship of learning his craft.
Mhm.
But there are some stylistic differences. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
good. They need to have separate identities, so that's a
I
good
agree.
thing.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
I think about Enrique Iglesias.
Mm.
I
Oh,
think that's an apple that didn't fall far from the tree. Totally different music stylings, but I think he has a really good voice.
yeah. And you know, I like Enrique Iglesias more than I ever liked Julio Iglesias.
Really.
Oh yeah,
All right. Well,
Enrique
you have to go now.
Iglesias.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
No, no. I get that. I get that. It's a totally different style of music. But and
yes.
I never thought Julio was that big a deal. I mean,
Yeah.
you
He's
know,
kind of naggy. His voice is kind of naggy.
yeah.
To me, it was
It
always
just he
like
just never caught me. Never caught my. I mean, I know women love him for the most part, but because he's a crooner.
some woman, Yoda.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing in art. Nothing applies to everybody.
I know, right?
It's just that's the one thing that it always baffled me when people would get upset when I didn't like what they liked. It's like people are different, right? Not everybody likes the
Hmm.
same artist. Even Michael Jackson wasn't liked by everybody,
Right.
Mhm.
and he's the most successful entertainer ever.
Yeah, my brother and I have gotten into very friendly but heated debates on the fact that while I absolutely adore rock music and classic rock and all of that, I cannot fucking stand his favorite band of all time, and that is Metallica. I can't fucking
Yeah.
stand them.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can't.
Now
There's
I
not a
like a
single.
few Metallica songs, but I remember a buddy of mine made a mixtape for me because I was like, yeah, I don't know anything about them. And he said, all right, I'll make you a mixtape. And I got together with him like a week later, and I said, I think they should be called Arpeggio because that's all they ever do.
yeah.
Right.
And he didn't like that
Mhm.
at all.
Well, my thing with it is this is the part that ruined it for me because there were a couple of like Enter Sandman, objectively, yeah, catchy song, very well
Ride the
known.
lightning.
Yeah, Master of Puppets, all of that. But once you hear it, and this is what ruined it for me, is it was a once you hear it, you can't unhear it kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you listen to any time he sings, when he comes to the end of the end
Yeah.
of the word on the end of the line, it's nah,
Right, right.
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah.
And it's every single time at the end of almost every single line, and I cannot unhear it, and it annoys the fuck out of me.
I can
I'll
understand that.
give you that.
Now, wouldn't it be funny if he like had ADD and that's how he
Oh
expressed it?
no.
I don't give a shit.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to jet.
All right.
I have.
Well,
You
thank you
take
so
care,
much
and
for
I was.
being with us this evening.
Oh, thank you for
Mhm.
for allowing me in. Okay, take care, and we'll
All
we'll
right.
talk soon again.
All
Take
right.
care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah, no, Metallica is one of those bands where I don't begrudge their success. Good for them. But it all sounds the same to me. You
Mhm.
know,
See,
they have, I think, a few outstanding songs. Like Enter Sandman to me is one of the best rock songs ever written.
Right.
That's just for my money, right? But when you get into their catalog, it's most of it sounds the same
the same. Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
anyway. You know,
No, no,
No,
no.
I
You're not. You're right. But knowing what I know now, every time I refer to Jessica, I'm going to refer to her as Jessica. Yeah.
I will block you so fast.
Yeah, but the other thing
Respectfully.
that is really cool about Metallica is that they're old guys now, and they still rock their
Hmm.
fucking asses off. And
Yeah.
they're not auto tuning. They're not doing any of that shit. They're out there really singing and really playing. And I think Lars is an underrated drummer. I think he adds a lot of
Sure.
atmosphere with his drumming. He does a lot of subtle shit in his playing, but I think it adds to the atmosphere of the songs.
Well, and partially and I don't know if this uh, is also Jessica's feeling on this, but like for myself, partially the reason why I kind of got burned out with Metallica was because of the whole like Napster that era of
Yeah.
Lars basically bitching over the fact that, oh, I don't get to have all my trillions of dollars and blah blah blah,
Yeah,
and you
but
guys are just
I
scaring
don't know.
music.
I don't blame artists for that at all. Like, these people, it's hard enough for a band to become successful. They get the short end of the stick from the record company. The only way they're going to make
Sure.
money is through touring. And that's why you see these bands that never go away, is because they're always behind the eight ball financially. Like Van
Well,
Halen had this one clip where you hear Alex saying, so, we were on tour for a year and we made like, the tour made like $10 million, but we owed the record company $1 million. He said, so if we went on tour for 2 years and made $20 million, would we owe them 2 million? You know? So it's that.
right,
So, I don't begrudge a band for saying, hey, you're taking our property.
Yes, and
right,
I agree with that, but I also feel like there is a way to take it too far. Taylor Swift is a perfect example of that.
yes,
Um, there have been instances where, like, couples who had their first dance at their wedding to one of her songs, and then they post a video online, and the video gets a lot of attention. She then turns around and sues them and makes them delete their wedding video for copyright because they posted a video that has her song in it. And
yes.
there have been
Well, even
multiple
though they don't
examples.
have to delete the video, they just have to change the music. But
Yeah.
um,
Still.
that's disgusting. I mean, I her music is not she's not targeting me as her audience, so I'm not the guy that's gonna like her music. It's, to me, it's music for tampon commercials. You know,
I know that she exists because my children enjoy her music.
That's
yeah,
fair. I
Kind of
personally
effect.
don't like her music, but to
yeah. I
each
mean,
their
Also,
own.
and I know grown women who absolutely love her music.
Oh
And it's
yeah,
like,
also,
I
hey,
know
whatever
grown men
whatever
who
gets you
love
through
her
the
music.
night, but I just can't, like, fucking
she is
12-minute breakup song. Like, shut up.
she is now married to my second favorite tight end ever to play for the Kansas City Chiefs. So there's that too.
I broke up with my favorite tight end a long time ago. Hi-oh.
No,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I personally do, and I know grown ass men who love her music, even, but I just can't
Mm,
get behind it. It's not my
hmm.
thing, and to each their own.
Are they
Shake it
hetero
off.
men?
Well, all you got
They
to do is shake it
are,
off.
they are.
Well,
What it
listen,
is
yeah,
they're like they're usually like dads who got forced by their children to listen to her music so much, and then it just kind of sunk into their brain.
And that
Jesus
does
Christ,
happen. That
personally
does
attacked.
happen. That happened to me with Madonna.
Hmm.
When
Mm.
Madonna first came out, I was just like, ugh. But they played it on the radio every 15 fucking minutes.
Hmm.
And let's see, when was I in Usher? I was in Usher in 1982. And they were playing her music constantly. On MTV, they were playing her videos constantly. On the radio, they were playing her music constantly. And eventually I just liked it.
I get that.
And I only really, there's my favorite song of hers is the one that was the part of the soundtrack for her then husband's film. Um, oh fuck, what was it called? It was with Christopher Walken.
View to a
Oh,
kill? No.
no, I'm gonna have to look this up. Film
I don't
with.
know that there's ever been a single Madonna song that I'm like, this is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that. Christopher Walken. It might be At Close Range or something. Yeah, well, I was right. Yeah, At Close Range, 1986, and she has a song on there, and it's a really, really good song. Um,
Hey,
Madonna song
why are you yelling at me?
from At Close Range. Are you talking to
Sorry,
one
my
of your
dishwasher is
children
yelling at me.
or your dishwasher?
Yeah.
You might need to up your meds. It's called Live to Tell.
Hmm.
Live to Tell. Very slow song, and they made sure that it was in her range, and I really love it because it's one of those songs like In the Air Tonight where it doesn't say much specific, but it alludes to a lot.
Okay.
Becoming Anya says, wish I lived through the 80s. Although that
Hey.
apostrophe is misplaced, there is no apostrophe in 80s when you're referring to the decade. If you were referring to the year 1980, that would be different. I don't care, Traffic Man. This is what I do.
No, that's fine. I mean, if we want to argue about things that we do, I'm currently 3D printing a bunch of shit down my basement. So
Is it
Excellent.
other strange phallic-like things?
no. It's cosplay, which is just as bad. So
Well,
I was gonna say,
let's
I'm
get
never gonna let you
specific.
live that down.
What are you making?
sorry. So there's a video game called Helldivers 2. I don't know if you're familiar. Got a big following.
What's the name of it?
Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 2. I don't think I've heard of it.
So the whole point of the game is it is set in a future world where the Earth is considered super Earth, and the government manages democracy, if you will. So it's very, yeah. I'm trying to look for the word.
So it's a game. I got it.
Yes, yeah.
And is
There's a big following.
Is it a first person game? Is it what kind of
Yeah,
game
absolutely.
is it? Okay.
Yeah, first
So
person.
you're running around. Are you blasting people in the game?
You're blasting bugs, robots, and another race of like a hive mind kind of a thing. And basically, you start off in your ship. You have to drop down on the planet, achieve a bunch of objectives, and then extract from the planet.
I'm sorry, what?
You say that, but
no, that's
if you have an experience.
Listen, again, to each his own.
Correct.
I played an F-15 simulator back in 1999. I get it. You know, it's so easy to get into these games. They're a lot of fun. I just haven't played a game since then. I was too busy banging chicks.
Was that Jane's?
No.
Okay.
Jane's F-15 was okay, but it wasn't real avionics. So you could do anything with the plane, and it was a bullshit game. But this was LOMOC, called Lock-On Modern Air Combat.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was based on actual flight avionics. You couldn't do anything that the plane couldn't do, and if you tried to, the screen would black out, indicating that you had blacked out.
Nice. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I was playing things like Spyro and Crash Bandicoot.
I mean,
whatever works for you.
I did beat every single Borderlands ever made, at least twice. I'm also an absolute beast at Call of Duty, specifically zombies, not multiplayer. Trash at multiplayer. But yeah.
Yeah, there's people that take that shit really seriously. Like they only accept people that were former military so that they know the maneuvers and shit like that. Like, you know, hey, I get it. Life is, you know, you got to get your joy wherever you can, you know?
Yeah. I don't have time for any gaming anymore, but like used to before I had my son. Like me and my friends would get together and we would have like hosted game nights, which were usually almost always at my house, where we would all have like a big meal and lots of snacks, and we would have like game tournaments. I have never lost a game night when Mortal Kombat is the game.
Nice.
I'm really good at Mortal Kombat.
Are you always Sonya?
No, absolutely not. No, probably I am a beast with Baraka, actually. Although I'm fairly decent with Scorpion. There's not too many that I can't feasibly play with, but it's because I was I had a lot of free time occasionally because I never slept and I would just stay up all night smoking copious amounts of devil's lettuce and memorizing the moves list. So I didn't believe in button mashing. So I would just memorize the moves list for each character so I would just know what the moves were and then
That's the smart thing to do.
use it strategically.
Yeah. So does anyone know the game Detroit Become Human?
No.
No.
Becoming Anya said that.
I'm going to look that up. Hold on a second.
I'm
Yeah,
still mad that the one bad thing though about like the fact that I don't game at all anymore is that like now they have things like Hogwarts Legacy and I would oh man. Oh man, the amount of time I would lose on that.
Right.
No, so Detroit Become Human seems to it's probably not an indie game, but it was definitely not a AAA release.
Yeah.
Which I hate to say that there's so many more modern video games that I would love to play. I just don't, like Jessica said, I just don't have the time
Yeah.
to sit down and really enjoy these games. So like I need a game where I can play a couple of missions, I could just hop in, do what I got to do, ha ha ha, whatever, make fun of some noobs, and then bounce out. That's
Right.
where I'm at now.
Make fun of some noobs. That's funny.
You know what? Yeah, see, you got it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, but you know, you're a terrible person. Oh, I got people really pissed off at one of my live shows talking about God because
Oh no.
a bunch of them were making comments about like, oh, don't try to convince him, let him go to hell, that kind of shit. Very typical Christian response, right? And I said, you know, I'm better than you as a human being because if I legitimately thought that someone was going to go to hell because they didn't believe, I would do everything I could to convince them. The fact that you're just like dismissing me to hell, it means you're a terrible person and I'm better than you. They didn't like that at all.
That's usually the reaction you get when you tell them, "Oh, wow, how very Christian of you,"
Yeah.
and then it just the anger comes out.
Like I've
Yeah.
said many times, it's easy to call yourself Christian, much harder to actually be Christian. And frankly, I don't even think that's something to aspire to. When I read the book, I don't see morality in that book. I see a lot of fucking witchcraft and magic and bullshit and horror. God commanding people to do horrible things, God doing horrible things,
Well,
you know?
oh my God, what's the one story that always comes up where the teenagers were making fun of the old man or something, and then God
The
was like,
bald
"Hey,
guy.
Old
They
yeah,
were,
the
guy.
bald guy,"
yeah.
and then God was like, "Hey, bear,
Yeah.
eviscerate them."
Two she bears is how it was described. Two
Yes.
she bears were sent to, you know, just devour a bunch of teenagers for making fun of a bald guy. That sounds perfectly moral to Christians.
It sure does. I fell on a I don't know if you follow him, Dan McClellan here on TikTok.
I don't
He's a
think so.
biblical scholar, but he's not like that kind of scholar. He's more of a grounded. This is where these stories came from. This is why they're interpreted this way, kind of a person.
Is he an atheist
And
or a believer?
no, he's a Mormon. He is of the Mormon religion.
Oh, Lord.
However,
The worst
well,
one.
true, but he also there's a lot of his videos where he explains how he was brought up in that, and that's what kind of led him to more of a trying to discover like where these stories came from aspect of things.
They
Does
came
that
from
make
a
sense?
con man.
Well,
That's where they came
no,
from.
well, no. What I'm saying is like a more humanistic, like historically, where
Yeah,
where these
he's
fall.
desperate to make sense of this goofy shit. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, and I'll tell you, he usually defends against that a lot more often than what you would expect him to defend towards. And tonight's video was somebody was trying to make the claim that John that wrote the Book of Revelations was John the Apostle. Okay, and he came with very credible evidence that there's no way in hell John the Apostle wrote that book because John would have been like 130 years old. And in modern medicine time, people don't live that long.
Thank you.
So
Oh,
it
but
couldn't possibly
Noah
happen back
was
then.
900 years old.
I was just gonna say, remember, they want us to believe that that there are several people in the Bible who lived hundreds of years.
I'm pretty sure, wasn't it Noah? Didn't Noah live for like 600 years or some
I
shit,
think it was
allegedly?
900, but
Nine.
I could
Okay,
be
what?
wrong.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
it was absurd.
They were
I
all
mean,
incestual people.
the best way to become an atheist is to read the Bible from start to finish. Because
Yeah.
unless you're lobotomized, you can't take that information in and come out at the other end going, "Oh yeah, this all makes perfect sense."
Jonah lived in a whale for 3 days. No, he
Of
didn't.
course he did, because that makes perfect sense.
Well, but remember, three. What does the three mean? Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. There it is.
We've cracked the code.
Enough evidence
Fantastic.
for me. Am I right?
Right. Yeah. 3 over here, 3 over here. We're good.
Well, wasn't it a pope at like it was like 1300 or something AD that the pope had instilled the whole seven thing, and the devil's number is the six, and then Jesus, it was
Who
seven.
knows? There's been a lot of popes that have been really fucking goofy
Bad.
and just made up shit on the spot. Like I think it was in the 800s that it was Pope. I think it was either Augustus or Augustine. I forget what the actual name is, but he's the one that just made up original sin because that shit's not in the Bible,
It's not a thing, right?
and because in the beginning of baptism it was only adults being baptized, but then the Catholic Church realized that their numbers were starting to dwindle. So they said, well, we got to catch them early, so let's baptize them as children. And
Right.
then suddenly someone had the wherewithal to ask, well, if baptism is about washing away your sins, how could children be sinful? And Pope Augustine went, original sin.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so he just makes shit up. That's why I can't take any religion seriously. Like when Christians laugh at the people that are Mormons, I'm like, do you really think that your religion makes more sense than Mormonism? It doesn't. Oh, well, they said that an alien came down from Xenu and started the planet. I said, yeah, and you got a zombie Jew that sprang back to life. What, like, you
Yeah.
don't think that shit is odd? You walk into a building and the main symbol that you see is a guy bleeding on a cross. That doesn't seem fucking weird to you?
Right.
And if Jesus does come back, you think he's going to want to see that all over the place?
Well, somebody, I can't. Okay, yeah, Jessica, I think just responded to them.
Yeah.
Says, do you guys think religion in any way can benefit society in any way?
No.
No.
And
listen, that's coming from somebody who claims to be Greek Orthodox. No, I don't believe so. No.
I think that, and this was my response, is that if it is utilized correctly and on a voluntary basis, and what I mean by that is it is in no way pushed onto others. It is in no way deemed like if you don't believe this, you are wrong or anything like that. When I say that I believe that it can benefit a society, let's just take the most popular with Christianity. If you have a person who aligns with Christianity and they do so in a way that they're like living like Christ, as what
Why would
they
that be
know it to
good?
mean today.
Why would it be good to live
I'm
like Christ?
I'm with hey, I'm with you on this, but I'm saying the way that Christians nowadays believe it to be. All love and
Well,
doing
if they read the fucking Bible, they're going to see that he wasn't all
Yoda,
love.
I'm with you on this one, but just hear me out. The way that Christians perceive Christ to be. Okay? I am not a Christian. I'm with you on this one. But they perceive Christ to be nothing but love, nothing but kindness, and all of that. So if you take someone who is saying that they believe in those tenets and they use that to help feed the poor, feed the hungry, shelter the unhoused, and do all of these things. And they say that they are doing it because their religion calls them to do so. That's great. Now, if they're not trying to push that religion onto other people, that's the better version of it. So I think that a person can use religion to justify them doing things that betters their community, but I don't think that imposing that religion on a community will better it in any way.
Yeah, I would agree.
The thing of it is this: if you ask me, are there any useful parts of the Bible? I would say yes, but very few. Like, there's a couple of passages from Sermon on the Mount, although some of that speech is all about, how you're not worthy and blah, 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 kind of bullshit. But the stuff about, do not focus on the morrow, the sins of today are sufficient unto themselves. I like that idea. Jesus is talking about staying present, staying focused. Okay, I can take that idea. In Genesis, where there's 13 statements in a row that begin with "and God said," and God spoke and created this, and God spoke and created that. I'm like, okay, I could take that metaphor as your life shrinks from your word. That's useful, but as that's like only a segment of the religion. When I think of the religion, I think of the institution. And the
Yeah.
institution to me is completely useless and has done way more harm than good on earth.
Yeah.
Like if you have a bake sale for, whatever to help some of the local schools, repair the roof or something like that, that doesn't make up for the Inquisition. It doesn't make up for the Crusades and the witch hunts and the hiding PDF files.
Yeah.
It
No,
doesn't make up for what's currently happening in the Middle East.
yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
And I would honestly say, personally, I think that the Church of Satan does a lot more in terms of bettering their communities and helping people than Christianity does.
Yeah.
And I feel that they do it out of spite.
That would be
No,
that would be
hear
funny
me
if
out.
that
Hear
was
me out.
true.
Well, no, hear me out. Hear me
I
out.
mean, it's a funny idea. I get it.
I feel like they're doing it in a way. They're doing it to be like, shove it, Christians, because look
In
what we're doing, kind of a
in
thing.
some ways, there are some things that they have done that, yes, I do think stemmed mostly from spite. But if you read the actual tenets of Satanism, basically their version of commandments, they're a lot more peaceful, let's say, than the commandments of Christianity.
Sure.
Yeah.
Um,
And the tenor, that's the only official list, but when you look at what God actually commands in the Bible, it's fucking horrible.
I think Mel
And
Brooks.
Jesus said specifically that he came to maintain the old laws. He said specifically he came to bring the sword, not
Yeah.
peace. He said specifically that it's better if you hate yourself and follow him than if you don't. It's better if you hate your brother to follow him. Like crazy, wild, horrible shit.
Well, and one of the teachings is that Jesus had oh God, I'm trying to think of TikTok safe words, had ended Satan with his word. But then the depiction of his word is a sword in his mouth from medieval times.
Yeah.
It's depicted all over Europe.
Yeah, I mean,
And
all
the
you have to do is
problem,
read the actual words that he spoke.
well, right.
Of
But
course, when I say the words that he spoke, I mean the fictional character, because there was no
correct.
he. But if you read the words of the fictional character Jesus, they're not pleasant for the most part. There are a couple of
No.
pleasant things that you can, and if you do your job as a church, that's what you focus on. You never talk about the horrible shit that he said. You never talk about the horrible stories of what God commanded, to the Amalekites, the Canaanites, the Midianites, and several other tribes that he was just like, oh, wipe them out. Like, what?
Well,
Keep
Horrible,
and see,
horrible
them
shit.
for
I
yourself.
feel though that that's kind of the degradation of the Christian religion that we're experiencing now here in the United States of
I think
America is
people are
they've
just
taken.
getting more access to information is not a good thing for organized religion.
Well, right, but I mean, at the fundamentals, the whole idea of Christ's word is the sword. I have seen too many documentaries. I've seen too many like in person cases here. It's anecdotal, but here in like Northeast Ohio, where there's this whole "I'm a warrior for God" nonsense, and it's like,
Oh,
dude,
yeah,
calm the fuck down.
yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah, as somebody who grew up Southern Baptist, I heard that a lot. I heard a
Yeah.
lot of that kind of stuff. Um, and it's strange the way the things that they tie into that, right? Even their control of women.
Oh yeah.
Women, you must be fruitful and multiply and have as many babies as you can so that God has more warriors, right?
Uh huh.
Shit like that. Um,
I have
and
plenty of Catholic friends that have like 8 or 9 kids, and they in today's day and age in this economy, they have that many kids, and it's like,
well, yeah, because
how are you living?
well, yeah, because contraception is not to be utilized because that is taking away from God's plan. If God wants you to have
Correct.
children, then
Th-
you'll
then you
have
will bear
children.
fruit. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And like Kay Diggity asked in the comments, then what would be the best alternative? Like what worldview should be held? It doesn't have to be a religion. It can be something as simple as don't be a dick,
Or let's
and
state
that can
let's
encompass
state that
many
in the
things.
positive, right? Let's like I personally, from a coaching perspective, I never give instructions that are about don't do something. So how about be kind to everybody,
I was just
respect
gonna say,
everybody, right?
love thy neighbor doesn't
Yeah,
have to necessarily come from a Christian tenant. You could
yeah,
just be a decent human being and love
Yeah.
your neighbor.
And if
you
you need
know?
a book to understand that, then I think that's a problem.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
I think
authority
that
behind it is the issue.
humanity figured out a long time ago that cooperation worked best. That's how
hmm
all of this shit got done. All of the building and all of the expanding and all of this stuff, all of civilization got done because of cooperation. The ugliest part of humanity is when they don't cooperate, right?
Correct.
yeah,
That's when wars break out. That's when people condemn each other for having the wrong sky daddy, you know? When you just fucking treat everybody kindly and respect everybody, you're good.
Yeah.
You covered 99% of what you need to do in life, you
yeah.
know?
I mean, that's like with my belief system. I'm not a monotheistic person. I don't believe in there being one deity. Um, and I don't. We don't worship deities in my belief system. Could there be deities? Sure, but they are just as flawed as human beings. If they exist, they also are greedy and wrathful and vengeful and all of these other things. And you can pay, homage to them, but that doesn't mean that they should be worshipped. They're not to be worshipped. The main tenets of my belief system is balance and caring for not only other beings, but the world around you. And I would argue that that's 10 times more peaceful than Christianity and what they have to bring to the table.
And
I
not just
agree.
peaceful, but more important.
Yeah.
You know, there was an old tenet from the Boy Scouts that I was taught, and it was drilled into me, was leave the campsite better than you found it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's and as I grew and as I aged and as I learned more, that wasn't just a tenet for that specific campsite. That was a lesson in life, to leave the earth better than you found it. Make
Yes.
sure that the next generation coming up was able to pick up from where you left off in a better place than what you found it.
Yeah. I mean,
And I don't
sorry.
understand why we can't just have that.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing with the way that we look at it is uh, human beings, especially in well, I mean for hundreds of years, have kind of seen the earth as something for them to claim, for something for them to have ownership of.
Mm,
But really, with how things work in my belief system, it is not something that we own; it's something that we are stewards of.
yeah,
You know, and in order to maintain the balance, you have to understand that you know, there is sacrifice on the part of the earth just like there is on the humans and on us as stewards. There are things that we must give up. There are things that we must not do in order for the earth and the things around us to thrive so that we may then thrive in return. It is a balance. It is a working symbiotic relationship.
right.
That reminds me of something Joe Rogan said. He had the first Netflix comedy special, and I think it was back
Oh, I
in
didn't know that.
2005 or 2006. And this was back when he was still normal. And he said, when you look at the earth from like a plane, it looks like wherever people are, it looks like mold growing on bread, right? And he said
Hmm.
that, and that's the problem, is that we have never sought balance in the environment. We've always overconsumed. We've always overpolluted. I mean, throwing metal barrels full of toxic waste into the ocean is an incredibly stupid and short-sighted thing to do. You know, when you look at the ocean at the Gulf, where all of the oil refineries are, it's dead. The water, there's nothing growing there. There's no life in that part of the ocean because of all the chemical runoff from manufacturing oil. That's dumb. Every other animal on Earth finds a way to balance themselves within their environment. Like gorillas love bamboo shoots. They eat that shit by the tons, but what an amazing coincidence. Bamboo is the fastest growing plant on Earth,
Mm.
right? So there's a
Right.
balance there. And humans don't exercise that balance. The things we've done to the earth. Now, we can't hurt the earth. I'm not saying we're damaging the earth. What we're doing is damaging our habitat. That's so dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, it's literally setting the kitchen on fire so that way the living room is warmer.
Yeah.
So
I
that, yeah,
mean,
no, no, really, yeah.
and when you look at like this El Nino that's coming this year, it's
Mm.
I'm
supposed to
not
be
ready for that.
devastating.
Yeah.
You know, the global
um
temperatures are way higher than they're supposed to be.
so fun little perspective here. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, when we were experiencing that extreme heat wave, we actually had 5 or 6 sections of sidewalk that were somewhat newly poured, had actually buckled and lifted up because of the extreme heat. On top of that, we are now here in Northeast Ohio. We are now, as far as I think it's Sunday into Monday, we're under the seventh or eighth like worst severe weather prediction model that we've experienced in 70 years. Like it's not a normal
Hmm.
weather model that we're experiencing.
Hasn't
On
it been
top of
like
that,
20 years in a row or something, or 25 years in a row, where every year is the hottest year on record?
for the most part, yes. There have been like a random like dip, like I think 20 what is it? 2006, 2014 and I think 2019 were lower than the average rise in temperature, and that's what a lot of people will they'll cherry
But
pick
still
that
a
data.
rise in temperature.
Yeah, exactly. Overall, on average, it is a rise in temperature. However, that Republicans
Yeah.
will cherry pick those data points, and they'll be like, "Well, look, how come in 2014, it actually got cooler?" And it's
Oh my
like,
God, they're so stupid. That's like
yes,
saying, hey, you know what? It's better to drown in 10 feet of water than 20 feet of water.
correct, correct,
Fucking dummies.
yeah. Well, and this goes back, and I don't remember what year it was. It was definitely during the Obama administration, but I remember there was a gaggle of Republican senators, and I say gaggle because it's funniest. That in like November of that year, before they went on winter recess, it snowed in Washington D.C. And I remember that I don't remember what senator it was, but they held up a snowball in front of a press conference and they were like, "Oh, if global warming's a thing, how come it's snowing here?" And it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you're not that dumb, dude.
No,
You're a
that's
senator.
no, that's someone that's someone committed to protecting their paycheck over the welfare of humanity.
Correct. Correct. And back
The,
then,
and we'll never get rid of money in politics because the people that have to make that decision are benefiting from that. But that's
correct.
the worst. One of the worst things that happen to politics is just allowing everyone to bribe you legally.
Yes.
That's what APAC is about. That's what lobbying is all about. It's all legal bribery, and that's why these people that if there's going to be politicians on television with flames all around them denying global warming.
They will literally be the meme of the dog sitting in the room with the fire
This
and
is
he's
fine.
drinking the cup of coffee saying, "This is fine."
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny that you mentioned about the money in politics. Just this week, the House of Representatives,
Uh-huh.
they did, yeah, they did pass the law about no insider trading. However, there was a large amount of Democrats who voted
Toothless
against it.
law.
Oh, correct. And the argument is that they can use this as fuel going into the midterms because they're going to say, "Oh, well, see, those Democrats they voted against keeping like Nancy Pelosi out of blah blah blah." But the problem was there was an earmark added to the bill, which earmarks should be illegal in my opinion. There was an earmark added for voter ID laws.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the SAVE Act got snuck into another piece of legislation. It's all horseshit. I mean,
exactly.
if America's going to stand a chance to survive all this, the Democratic Party is going to have to get rid of all the dead weight
Yes.
and prosecute everybody. Just
Yes.
prosecute everybody. All of these people that are supporting a dictator wannabe, just get rid of them, put them in jail, and so that way the next crop of Republicans are going to understand that they can't fuck around.
Right.
And I think also, which of course, we know that while we of course also shit on the Democratic Party does have a tendency to hold accountability for their own party members. And I think that they need to keep in trend with that, and also hold that same accountability for members of the Democratic Party as well. When you have people like fucking Fetterman, um,
Oh,
he also needs to be held accountable. And then I love whenever Republicans are like, oh, yeah, Nancy Pelosi. We don't like that bitch either.
Yeah, no, we don't.
We also need to, like when we're talking about insider trading and things of that nature, hold her accountable as well. When we talk about, just all these different performative acts, we need to take like the Cory Bookers and the Hakeem Jeffries and the Chuck Schumers and all of them who are just largely performative, and then talk about how, oh, we need, to stop supporting all of these heinous actions, and then, oh, hey, I'm also going to vote to send more missiles to Is Not Real. And all of that shit. We also need to hold, the Democratic Party also needs to hold them accountable as well and clean house.
Well, and
100%.
I think what's very interesting coming up now, there's a lot of DSA members that are making headway
Yes.
in the Democratic Party. They are winning primaries so far.
America
Uh,
wants that.
yeah,
Yep.
they're going to be the forefront of the future of the Democratic Party, and I think it's hilarious watching all of the old timers in the Democratic Party sit there and just react terribly
Yeah.
to this progressive, modernization of what the Democratic Party should really fight for, and they're all just sitting back going, "Oh well, you know, well, what about what about my portfolio?"
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, that's not what you're there for, dipshit.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I
Like if
mean,
you want
like
to do that, go
we
become a
gotta we
CFO of
gotta
some
get
company or
rid
some
of
bullshit.
Hakeem Apex Shakur Jeffries. Like, get that
Yeah.
guy out of this fucking party already. He's just
I
like
want that Michigan
the way
fist.
he
You know what I
spoke
mean?
about Mamdani. You already
Oh,
know that I disliked Jeffries before that, but when the way he talked about Mamdani pissed me the fuck off.
yeah,
Agreed.
Especially when we're talking about two minorities. It's like, there's this thing amongst minorities where we don't air our dirty laundry in front of white tea folks. Okay? Because in the
sure.
past, it's been used against us. So the fact that he was doing that and is just so corrupt, just taking so much APAC money, like, get rid of this fucking guy.
Mm-hmm. And the thing that I fear is if there isn't a like radical change in the Democratic Party coming up here in November, that
It's a
old
wrap.
Chuck there, well, yeah, exactly. But like old Chuck won't, whenever he decides to retire, who is it? Is it Hakeem or is it Cory Booker that's like in line to be the next Chuck Schumer? Oh
I
God,
don't know.
It's honestly kind of a toss up, but Hakeem Jeffries is who people tend to lean more towards. I think that because neither one of like they're not retiring anytime soon.
Let
no, neither
Hakeem
one of them are. No,
Jeffries
correct,
teach drama at a high school. That's what he should
Right.
do, because that's what he's good at.
But I
right.
think that so we know that they're going to still continue to be members of the party. However, I think that the best thing that the Democratic Party could do is whenever, say, they take the majority, whenever
Yeah,
they are choosing who is going to be the majority leader, they need to steer clear the fuck away from any of them, the
Yeah,
yeah,
establishment Democrats.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, even Jared Moskowitz was one of the 13 who voted for one of these horrible bills recently, which I was very surprised at because he's been on point for a long time. But now that he's done that, I'm like, get rid of that fucking guy too.
Well, and I'm curious, did he vote for or against the NDAA? Um,
I'm not sure which bill he just voted on, but he was. I just posted about this because he was one of 13 that voted. I think it was the Save Act bill or something.
Mhm.
okay, which,
Let me
yeah,
see. Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure I referenced what bill he voted for. Oh no, that's not it. Oh, did I not post this?
Surprise,
Oh
still in the
wow.
drafts.
Yeah, no, I don't think I even started posting it. Let me see. That means I have a screenshot of it somewhere. I think. Okay, here it
Okay,
is.
well,
I didn't
go
post
ahead.
it, but here it is. The following 13 Democrats voted for the SAVE Act, and Jared Moskowitz was one of them. And 13 Democrats, man, voted for the SAVE Act. Come on, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, I mean, coming from a state that already requires voter ID at,
Right.
yeah, at the time that you vote, it's impressive to me that there's this idea that, well, my senator, unfortunately, is Bernie Moreno. He's the same guy that went on national TV and said you have to have a voter ID to go get pasta at the fucking Olive Garden.
Right.
He's one of those guys. He literally, yeah, no, he's literally one of those guys. And he represents half of the state of Ohio. And then he sits there and argues for, well, in Ohio, we need voter ID. Motherfucker, we already have it.
Oh
And the
yeah.
way, and yeah, now I don't know how your state works, Jessica, but like our state, you either have to present a valid Ohio driver's license, a valid Ohio identification, because not all people will have a driver's license, or you have to provide two forms like utility bills or something of that nature to prove your residency in the state of Ohio. Because when you registered to vote in the state of Ohio, you already proved your citizenship.
Yeah, when so in Arkansas, you have to bring either a valid state ID or driver's license, or a voter registration card, which at which time you prove your citizenship and like where you live and everything whenever you
Right.
receive that voter ID card. And like we have Tom Cotton as our
I'm sorry.
senator. Yeah, it's fucking rough, dude. Um, and so you know, we have Tom Cotton, who is one of the leading voices and leading the charge on this Save Act and voter ID, all of that bullshit, and we already fucking have it here, and he's doubling down. And then, like, we have our Secretary of State, who is Hammer, who is also doubling down. He's also completely on board with, you know, sending federal involvement in state elections to ensure voter security and all that. I'm like, we have incredibly secure elections here in my state. We have voter ID requirements here in my state. We don't need to continue to make this worse. We are also a largely, like, and I have gotten into so many arguments on other lives about using this term, but it is a correct term. We are largely a non-voting state.
Yeah.
Meaning that like a large amount of our voting population just doesn't vote. And it's because our elections here are not very accessible. Like whenever the gerrymandering thing was a really big topic and issue, there were a couple of questions of, oh, you know, is this going to happen in Arkansas? Well, no, because we did it decades ago.
Right.
This has been an issue here in my state for decades, and so we don't have great access. Like in my area, I can't. There's not even a actual voting station anywhere within reasonable driving distance in my county. I have to go to the next county over, in a county where I do not even reside, to vote.
Sure.
That's crazy.
We,
Hey, here's some quick trivia. Do you know that most states refer to it as a driver license, not driver's license?
Interesting.
I did not know that.
I probably did, but I know, you know, you
It's
get so
common.
used
It's
to saying
common for people
driver.
to say
Yeah.
driver's license, but most of the time, it's driver license.
Interesting.
Tomato, tomato.
Yeah, right. Well, I will tell you, the Secretary of State here in Ohio, Frank LaRose, took it upon himself last year after the presidential election, because he wanted to make sure that the orange dementia patient paid attention to him. He went through it. He went back through all of the voter rolls all the way to the year 2000, which was 4 years before I was allowed to vote. Um, he went back all the way to 2000. He wanted to find all of the corruption and all of the illegals voting and all that stuff, right? He found, I think it was 17 cases, and most of them were not um, people who were looked upon as non-residents of the United States, or you know what I mean. It
Voter
was
fraud
people
is
accidentally voting.
statistically non-existent.
Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
I went and
Like
looked at
there's,
the
you know that there's that big comprehensive study of all votes ever in
Yeah.
America, and the instance of voting is something like 0.000009%.
Yes.
That's statistically non-existent.
Oh, what is the what is that right wing conservative think tank?
Heritage Foundation.
Thank you.
I,
Even
I quote
they,
I quote that study all the
yes,
time because they went back. So because whenever I talk to the MAGA hats,
you can
um,
say dumb. It's okay.
well, listen, I've been getting dropped a lot
Yeah,
lately, so
we're
I
getting
gotta
a lot
watch.
of bullying
Sorry.
hits, so we got to be careful.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So whenever they bring up the whole, oh, voter fraud and Dems just want to rig blah 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 blah, all of that horse shit, I will quote the study from their own side. The Heritage Foundation went back to the 70s, right? Looking for instances of voter fraud. Out of I think they only found, it was something like 56 cases or something like that, where there were clear indications of voter fraud. Now, out of those 56, do you want to know how many were committed by non-residents?
Probably 12.
Two.
Yeah,
Okay.
And in both of those instances, their ballots had already been flagged as invalid and were not even counted.
there you go.
Yep.
The
That's what
other
I'm saying. They're not trying to solve a real problem. They're trying to create a problem so that it prevents Democrats from voting.
yeah, and the out of the cases that they found, do you want to guess what the demographic was that was actually committing the voter fraud?
I'm gonna
I'm
guess.
going to
Hold on.
confidently say YT men.
I was gonna say. Hold on. I was gonna say Republican YT man.
Yeah,
Ding ding ding! Specifically, conservative YT men.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's such a farce. Like this is Dump is the guy who lights a house on fire and then runs up with a bucket saying, "I'm here to help." Like
Yeah.
this is what they're doing. They're creating issues out of thin air. That's why they've been talking about another Heritage Foundation finding, which is immigration, because back in the 90s, I think it was like 91, the Heritage Foundation did their best to prove that immigration was a scourge on the American public, right? And they accidentally proved that immigration was a net positive.
Net
Okay.
positive. Yeah.
So they all of the folklore and propaganda around immigration is just that. There's no substance to it whatsoever, but they know that their constituency is fucking stupid.
Which
And they're gonna fall for this shit.
and the thing that infuriates me the most is a lot of the interaction I have with Republicans are like Gen X era people, right? The people that lived their maybe late teen, through adult life in the 1980s. And it blows my mind that they come from an era where Ronald Reagan, I have words, where Ronald Reagan decided that like amnesty was the best decision for these people that are living in the United States.
3 million.
Let's give them amnesty because they are working positive members of society.
He was very
That
progressive when it came to immigration.
to that I agree. Yes, and here we are now. These people are quoting as they are. Oh, we're the party of Reagan. Ronald Reagan knew it best enough to be like, hey, you know what? They've been living here for 30 years. Just make them citizens. Okay,
I
there,
will
problem
never
solved.
understand why they love Reagan so much. He did so many things that they hate.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a long list. I mean, the immigration is just one. How about
Stock buybacks.
how about taxing VA benefits? How about taxing
Yep.
Social Security?
Yep.
Okay. How about raising taxes 7 of his 8 years in office? Okay,
Well,
because
But
his
see,
first thing, the first thing that he tried to do when he got in office was lower taxes, and that created a huge deficit. It blew up the deficit by 300%.
yes,
yeah, but I mean, we also have to remember that the people who are saying that they love Reagan and that they're the party of Reagan are also too dumb to understand taxes and tax rates and all of that
right.
shit. So
Yeah, but
that
they
never
don't seem
even
to
factors.
understand anything because he also did negotiation with terrorists, which they say they hate. He also did arms control, which they say they hate. So
Hmm.
I don't get why they love this guy. What it's
Trump is
just the
also
speeches.
It's Trump is also
Well,
doing. That's exactly what it is because Trump does the same thing. Trump also negotiated with terrorists. Trump also did all of the tax cuts for the rich and all of the horse shit, uh, and while raising taxes on the average citizen. Trump has done a lot of things that Reagan himself also did. And they love him just as much, but it's like you said, it comes down to the speeches. They don't do
yeah.
the actual research. They don't know what policy these people are actually passing that is in a real way harming them. They just listen to the fancy words they say when they're standing on a
But see,
stage.
you have to
But if it's the
remember.
speeches, I can understand Reagan because Reagan spoke beautifully.
No, he
But this
did.
fucking clown sat up there talking about Arnold Palmer's dick and fucking uh
Pinky
and what
Herman.
what's his name Hannibal Lecter as if he was real.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
see,
well, they're also
in
very dumb and very illiterate, and so they don't understand that to normal people, Trump sounds like an absolute buffoon. They don't understand that he's not well spoken. They think he just tells it like it is because he speaks like an idiot, and most
yeah.
of them are
Yeah, he
absolute
tells it like it
buffoons
is
as
until you
well.
quote him, and then oh well, he didn't mean that.
Oh, that's not what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think the fundamental thing that both of you are missing here is both of those presidents were B-list actors who were failing at the
Yeah.
time and then became president of the United States.
Well, no, that's not a fair equivalence. First of all, Dump was never an actor. He just did a couple of roles in what was he in Home Alone 3
Home
or
Alone
something like
2,
that
yeah.
or
Down
2.
the hall
Okay.
and to the left. Yeah, no, I know his
So,
line.
but Reagan was a governor before he was president, so he wasn't failing.
I will grant you that, but I think a lot of the perspective that I see is a lot of people will look at Reagan though, and they're like, oh well, he was that famous actor, and then he became the president, and it's like that's not historically accurate.
No, he actually started in politics, and I think either
Well,
64 or 65 is when he made a
yeah,
speech for Kennedy or somebody, and
well,
and or
and that
I forget which politician he made a speech for, but he was in politics for like 15 years before he was elected.
right, right, and he has that famous line where the Democratic Party, I didn't leave the Democratic Party left me, which
Ooh,
I
good one,
really
Ronnie.
hate that as well. Yeah, I know, right? But looking at the history of Ronald Reagan versus Donald Trump, we can definitely see a complete difference there. But what I'm saying is just like the general public today looking back at Reagan to what they see as Trump is they're like, oh, well, it's this famous Hollywood actor, and then he
Well,
became
instead of
president.
saying actor, what I think the more accurate thing to do is say that they were
Pop
both
culture
celebrities.
celebrities, thank you. Yeah, no, that would be more accurate. Yes, that they were these celebrities that all of a sudden became president, and it's like
Yeah.
that's not a good measure of a man to run the country.
Yeah.
at
And it
all.
isn't even true. It's not. Again, it's not like Reagan's credentials was being a celebrity.
Correct.
That's what influenced Dump, is that he was, because we're so much into celebrity worship, especially now with social media.
Right.
That fueled a lot of what he was doing. But the rest is not analogous because you know Reagan actually put in his time in the government,
No, he
and
did.
I think he was actually in the armed forces as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. He was in
So
WW. Yeah. Yeah.
and Dump is the first president of America that had neither armed forces experience nor governmental experience.
Right. Right.
So there's the throughput. I agree. If you're going to put the Venn diagram together, there's a tiny sliver under celebrity, but the rest is very different.
Well, but I guess what I'm trying to say is there are a lot of people that romanticize Reagan as that thin sliver. They do forget
Sure,
the fact that yes, he was the governor of California. He made sure that the Black Panther Party wasn't allowed to have pew
that's right.
pews at the state house.
That's
No,
right.
no, that was the thing. You're
Everybody
correct.
was
Yeah,
fine with having pew pews in California
yes.
until Negroes got
Until
some.
oh no, those black people showed up and they extended their rights as Americans. Yeah. But um, and it's frustrating because I remember as a kid when Ross Perot ran for president against Bill Clinton and George
The
H.W.
guy
Bush.
had
I
great ideas. He
remember,
was just nuts.
well, I remember people saying at that time, this country needs to be run like a corporation. Okay, like that whole that vomit of a statement. And then here we are, where the quote unquote successful businessman is running the country like a business. And what are we getting from it? Oh, the rich are getting super rich, and we're all left to fucking pick up the shit.
And
It's
it's not
being run
even
like a corporation.
you can't even use Dump as an example because he's not trying to run the country at all.
No, he's not.
You
No,
know?
he's just trying to pad his pockets
Yeah, he's raiding the treasury.
and
That's
his
all he's
family.
doing.
Yeah.
I will tell you.
Same thing he's
Not
doing with his businesses.
Exactly.
well, not tonight's correspondence dinner, but the Georgia speech where he spoke about Pinky Herman. I will not let go of Pinky Herman. I'm sorry,
I saw your piece on that. It
that
was
fucking
funny.
guy. God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pinky Herman.
Well, side note, real
You
quick.
ever heard? You know who
Um,
Pinky Herman is? Yeah. Oh,
somebody in a podcast that I listened to pointed out that there was a kids TV show back in the 50s who was hosted by Pinky Lee, who also dressed in a gray suit, and it was a kids show. And because dementia has set in,
yeah.
he's
Sundowning
combining
Dottie
people.
has his wires
Yes,
crossed.
exactly. But to my point though, he had made a statement in the Georgia. Oh god damn it! I started talking about Pinky Herman. I forgot what I was going to say.
The Georgia speech.
Oh no. Okay. He kept referencing the fact that he thinks he needs his face on Mount Rushmore.
Right.
And so part of the issue here isn't just that he wants to bolster his family's coffers. He also has this desire to leave this fucking legacy of his face
He's
on
trying to be
everything.
immortal now that Father Time is catching up with him.
And the best part is, I really feel that moving forward, as we did with those stupid Daughters of Confederacy fucking statues, at some point, Americans are going to go, no, we need to just get rid of that shit.
Yeah.
I hope.
Take all. I would love to see every dollar clawed back through the legal system and his name removed and made a pariah.
We need to have. Sorry, go ahead, Jessica.
Sorry. Back as, someone who's obviously a lover of history, one of the most heinous things in many cultures that you could do to someone was to erase them, right? Um,
Yeah, the
and
Egyptians
so,
used to try to do that shit all the time.
yeah, and
I was
so,
gonna go there.
yeah, and so it was considered this absolutely awful punishment that was often reserved for some of the worst crimes or perceived slights. Um, and they would erase all trace of them, right? Um,
Yes.
Ideally, I would love to see that happen. Of course, we know in today's modern, and the modern things that we have now, and the internet being forever, and all of that. Um, that's not going to happen realistically, obviously, but if we could tear down all physical symbols of him, I think that that would be just this really nice sense of poetic justice. And I've talked before about, him and his condition physically, and, the way that people who are nearing the end will often seek to have that lasting legacy that they leave behind and all of that. And wouldn't it be great if we just absolutely denied him of that?
Yes. Yes. Like we need to
Absolutely.
give him the pharaoh I was thinking of was Akhenaten.
Mhm.
She
There you
was
go.
erased from Egyptian history, and I feel that we need to give him the
Yeah,
same
the same thing that
respect.
Germany did with Schmittler. But before we continue, let's welcome. I cannot read your username. How you doing? Hello.
Fatima?
Is that what that says? Fatima,
Yes.
Yes,
are you
yes,
there?
حبيبتي.
Hi. What's up?
Please gift مساعدة.
I can't
Please gift,
understand what you're saying. Can you speak up, please?
please gift مساعدة.
All right, we'll have to try again another time. Barsky, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah, I think it would be wonderful because the legal system takes so long. I don't think we're going to enjoy anything happening to Daddy Donnie, but
Yeah.
we can enjoy watching his co-conspirators and his children suffer terribly as a result of the things that they've been doing, for the last 10, 11 years. Let's just take everything back. Take his buildings, take all of his assets, take all of his money. And my ex-wife loves to say, make a law that no one in his lineage can be part of politics or even any significant position in America for the next 100 years. I'd love to see that.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Barsky is requesting up.
Oh, hold on. I saw the other lady requesting up again. Oh, there's Barsky. Excellent. Okay. Accepted. Barsky, what's happening?
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm good. Are you familiar with the band Imminence?
Imminence. It sounds familiar, but I'm not sure. I don't think
They
I
are
I
a
don't think I have.
Swedish metalcore band. I played one of their songs tonight. I would highly recommend them if you're into hardcore.
Eminence. Okay. Like I am so down with that actually because I was having a good conversation. I don't mean to monologue right away.
No, go ahead.
But one of my favorite uh memories with my father was when I was like 10 years old and 10, 11, and my dad said, we're going to go and do something fun today. And we went to Ozfest
Huh.
at,
Oh, hell yeah.
and I think there was this 2001, 2000, I don't remember. But what an awesome time. We saw a lot of Swedish metal bands, Norwegian, um, it was awesome. It was amazing, and it was one of the few really good points in my life that I had with my father. So at Essence
Eminence.
Imminence.
Imminence. Okay,
Yeah.
I am writing that down. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna be looking those guys up very soon.
Yeah. There's an album that they're releasing October. But they've released a few singles, and one of the singles was just singles was just released 3 days ago called "False Light," and
Okay,
it's got a lot of fucking kick to it.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been actually like really kind of getting back into like some what is one of my cooks he says like dad rock.
Yeah, I
Nice.
dig it.
And there was a lot of pulse behind like dad rock, but like just thinking back to the concert that I went to with my dad when I was like 10 years old. That was when Kill Switch Engage
Oh,
was
Oh,
starting.
I like
nice.
them. I like them.
Oh
I
man,
have a bunch of
saw
their
them
songs
live.
downloaded.
what
I saw them
what
live. So good.
what a cool band. And like we saw them, we saw Mastodon.
Oh,
um
another one. Strode
Mastodon
the
was
Behemoth. I love their
Oh,
shit.
it was so good. And what's funny is like Mastodon was my father and I we got to Ozfest like right when they opened. So we saw all of like the local bands
Hmm.
and like the third stagers, second stagers, and then we saw one of the opening bands, and then we saw Mastodon, which was part of the main stage. But because we had been there since like 9 o'clock in the morning, Alpine Valley, like in 90 degrees, there you're 5 centimeters away from the sun, and I'm 10 years old, and we are running out of gas, and it was like we never got to see Black Sabbath,
Oh
because
wow.
Oh,
no, we never got to see them, but it was such a great day. Like we
And
missed
I'm sorry.
Black
What year was this again?
2000,
Oh, okay.
2001.
So Ozzy's voice was still in decent shape back then.
He was still, yep. From what I heard, like later on, from one of my dad's friends, who was there like the whole time, like for the main stage. He said, like, yeah, it was, Ozzy and Tony Iommi and everybody was there, and he said it was a great concert. And I'm like, after last year, after Ozzy passed away, I think about it every single day. Like, damn it, I wish I would have you know, sacked up a little bit. But I was a tiny human. I was 9 years old. Like, who's to say? But that was a good memory.
Yeah.
Good music, hard music. You know,
oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. People looking at me wouldn't assume that I was into hard rock, but I lived in an all white teen neighborhood for a long time, so I was exposed to rock, especially in the '70s. And I still say '70s rock is the best rock ever created. But I started a channel where I, as an old guy, am going to be reviewing new rock, and I already posted my first installation, and the other one should be up either tomorrow or Sunday, and that's the one that I did tonight. So,
Oh, that reminds me. I have a recommendation for you.
all right,
It is new-ish. I think it came out either earlier this year or maybe last year. It's by Falling in Reverse, called "God is a Weapon." I recommend also watching the video with it, just because you're someone who enjoys cinematography, and it is a beautifully shot video. And there features a surprise guest.
okay. So, God is a Weapon. What's the band?
Falling in Reverse.
By Falling in Reverse. And I'm guessing it's someone from Sleep Token that's joining them.
No,
Oh, all right.
they have still never done a feature.
Okay. So yeah, cool. I'll check them out. Yeah, I normally don't seek out hard rock. So I'm glad that I've made myself do this so that I can. There's one particular channel that reviews all the new, and the bands don't necessarily have to be new. Like for instance, tonight Imminence has been around since 2009, so they're not a new band, but they're putting out a new song. So I want to catch fresh new songs that are in the hard rock space, metal, whatever you want to call it, and and again, all of this really was inspired by Sleep Token because I fell in love with them immediately, especially by the third album where Chokehold. I mean that song is just fucking amazing to me, and so I was like, yeah,
Absolutely.
you know what, I want to see what else is out there, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and that's how like Falling in Reverse is not a new band, but they are still putting out new music. Um, and so that's one of their newer ones that gained a lot of traction online. And so, kind of like that comment on your reaction video for Sleep Token, and it is true what that one commenter said. One of the things in the Sleep Token fan community is that it's almost like an addiction to go and watch people react to Sleep Token for the first time, because to like relive that experience of discovering it. So if you just post anything like Sleep Token or reacting to Sleep Token or like anything like that or reacting to Falling in Reverse, the fans will find you.
Cool, good to know. It looks like traffic dropped down. He's having internet issues.
And then also, if you get the time as well, like Bring Me the Horizon. I mentioned earlier when we were talking about Eminence, how I said that they have very much so Bring Me the Horizon kind of vibe to them. They're also not a new band. They've been around for years and years, but they're still performing, they're still playing. Um, I recommend doing a little bit of a deep dive on them, and not even necessarily for your YouTube channel. I just really think that you would enjoy them since you liked that song by Eminence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I recommend it, and I can, if you would like, I can inbox you a couple of like songs to go listen
Oh,
to.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it makes my job easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I subscribe to this one guy, and because I saw that he was, doing the kind of reviews that I want to do, but he's a typical reviewer. He's a younger guy, and you'd expect him to review this type of music. But I was like, oh, I'll let him be, unknowingly be my Sherpa through this space because I have no idea where to fucking find this music, So I'm just gonna steal his ideas.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, folks, let's wrap this up. I think we can forego final thoughts for tonight, but tomorrow we're going to be doing Diner Night once again. It's been
Nice.
a while since I did Diner Night, so that's why I moved Music Appreciation to Friday so that I can preserve Diner Night on Saturdays. So hopefully you can all be back for that. But thank you to everybody. That it was a small crowd tonight, as I thought it would be. But tomorrow, maybe we'll get a little bit more lively crowd. But until then, folks, peace, love, and granola. Talk to you soon.
Night, buddy.